I kissed a girl, and she liked it. I, 43 got out of a severely toxic marriage 10 years ago. Since then I have mostly been ho-ing around, seeking only physical gratification and avoiding emotional attachment. Since COVID though, also coinciding with me transitioning into my 40s, casual encounters slowed to almost none. Between middle age setting in, my inability to make even a physical connection with anyone and the realization that I was beginning to want an emotional connection again, I have been feeling pretty low and down on myself. Online dating had me actually depressed and my self-esteem just kept plummeting. In 2022, I started a new position at my job and a few months later a new assistant manager was hired. We'll call her Anna, 35F. She was pretty cool and very charismatic. We got along well enough as co-workers. She was technically my boss, but not really. And that was it. In the fall of the same year, she suddenly stopped showing up to work and this went on for weeks. Turns out her kidneys decided to stop working and she was in the hospital. By the end of the year, our store was in managerial turmoil. The GM was retiring. The store manager was having some kind of midlife crisis and just not coming to work, and the assistant managers were struggling. It was a retail setting, so on top of all of that we're dealing with holiday madness. Anna's condition had stabilized, though she still needed a kidney transplant, and she assumed the role of GM. Anna relied heavily on me to keep our shipping, receiving and warehousing part of the store running smoothly so she could focus on the sales floor as well as navigating her complex health situation. I really admired the way she was handling such a life-threatening problem and still managing to run 2 stores, raise a teenager and toddler, and deal with a failing relationship. We would commiserate pretty regularly about our life situations and just enjoy having a good work friend to vent with. We didn't talk outside of the store unless it was work-related. In the summer of last year, I left that job for a much better position in a completely different field. During my last week at the store, Anna and I were working directly together to finish up a full inventory review and get my replacement up to speed. At the end of it all, I told her that I like her as a friend and would really like to stay in touch now that we wouldn't see each other at work. And we did stay in touch for a couple months, then she just kind of drifted away. I was busy dealing with my son getting in major trouble at school and also trying to settle into my developing role at this new company. I figured between the holidays coming up and her dealing with health and personal issues, she was just as preoccupied as I was. Fast forward to spring of this year, and I get a text from Anna. She apologized for essentially ghosting and explained that she had finally received a new kidney and also left her husband. We ended up making plans for dinner and to catch up. At that dinner, I, ever the jackass, asked if this was a personal meeting or was she trying to get me to come back to work for her. Anna assured me that it was the former. We laughed and had a nice evening together. Since that dinner we started texting more and more frequently, and on the 4th of July we went on a desert hike followed by brunch and hanging out at my apartment for the afternoon. That's when I started realizing that I liked her as more than just a friend. A few days later I told her this, to which she responded that we shouldn't go beyond friendship because she felt like it was too soon after her divorce. But that didn't change anything and actually increased our texting and meeting in person. Anna lives almost an hour away from me, so we both have to make a concerted effort to make time for each other between working and single parenting, with both of us initiating dates of lunches, dinners, home and restaurant, movie nights, and local attractions. Neither of us really revisiting the conversation about my feelings for her, just enjoying each other's company. Things came to a head at the beginning of December when I invited her to my company Christmas party. She accepted and I, ever the jackass, poked fun about me not getting invited to her company party. Anna sent me a text basically saying that my comments got her nervous and that we should have a difficult conversation soon. Last Friday she treated me to a winter-themed light show at our local botanical gardens. It was very romantic and beautiful. After the light show we went to a restaurant for drinks and snacks. Before going inside we had that difficult conversation in my car. It boiled down to yes, she likes me, but still isn't sure about being in a relationship with anyone and not specifically just me, and friendship is best. Anna went on to explain that if she brought me to her company party, full of people who already know me, there would be questions about a relationship that she didn't want to deal with her coworkers and employees. She also mentioned that she felt very comfortable talking to me about pretty much anything. I understood and agreed that friendship is best and I'd rather that than nothing. Since that night, only 8 days ago, texting has increased even more and even planning more dates from her end. My insecurities were going crazy and I almost rescinded her invitation to my company party. But she is my friend and I'm a man of my word, so I decided not to do that. It turned out to be the best decision I could have made. Last night was the company party, and it was held at my boss's house, which is roughly halfway between my apartment and Anna's house. Parking was going to suck at the party, so we agreed to meet at a local shopping center, park her car, and she'd ride with me. I couldn't believe my eyes when she first pulled up and got out of her car. I already find Anna extremely attractive, and holy hell did she look stunning. The party was awesome. Great barbecue to eat. Good times with gift exchanges and games. Just an overall great evening. Anna and I were practically inseparable, and there was a lot of mutual physical contact all night. Nothing crazy. Just simple touches and sitting close types of things. We took some great-looking pictures in the photo booth that was set up for the party. It all felt so organic and welcomed by both of us. Finally, it was time to leave. As I drove back to her car, we talked about the party and some of her current work issues. Very surface conversation. After loading her spoils from the party into her car, we hugged goodbye, and neither of us wanted to be the first to let go. I even told her how great she felt in my arms in the moment, and she hugged just a little bit tighter. We said goodbye and got in our cars. I forgot to ask her to text me when she got home safe, so I went back to her car. Instead of rolling down her window, Anna opened the door, and I said what I wanted to say. We both kind of looked at each other awkwardly, not saying anything, and I just blurted out, "I really want to kiss you right now." She began to say something. I honestly don't remember what, and I leaned in and kissed her right on the lips. Anna was out of her car in a nanosecond. We embraced, and she kissed me back. I said, "I like you." She replied, "I like you too." We kissed again and then awkwardly said goodbye and drove our separate ways home, both texting each other when we got home and briefly discussing the kisses. She said she wasn't expecting that to happen and flirtingly requested a redo. AITA for breaking up with my girlfriend because of a caught cheating prank. I, 26M, broke up with my girlfriend, 25F, of 2 years because of something that happened recently, and now my friends are saying I massively overreacted. So, a few days ago, my girlfriend and a close mutual friend decided to play a prank on me. The prank was that they filmed a scenario where I caught them in bed together, pretending they were hooking up. They set up a hidden camera in the bedroom, and when I walked in, I saw him in just boxers and my girlfriend in a bra and panties, straddling him, acting like they were mid-hookup. To make it more realistic, they even made some noises and tried to act like it was happening for real. I was shocked, furious, and immediately confronted them, as I thought it was real at first, like an actual betrayal, and then I walked out of the room and started leaving the house. When they followed me screaming it was just a prank and then showed me the video they'd been recording. To be honest, I felt completely betrayed, not just by the idea of the prank, but also because of how they had gotten undressed to film it. I know it's meant to be funny to some people, but for me, it felt disrespectful, and I was hurt. The whole thing felt like a violation of trust, even though I know they weren't actually cheating. I told her I couldn't be in a relationship with someone who would do something like that, and I ended things right there. She's devastated, and our friends have been telling me I overreacted. They think it was just a harmless prank and I should have taken it better, but I can't shake the feeling that it crossed the line for me, especially with how intimate and uncomfortable it felt to see them in that situation, even if it wasn't real. Now I'm left wondering if I made the right decision. I'm starting to doubt myself because everyone else seems to think I blew it out of proportion. Edit, I did not expect this many responses. Thank you guys. She posted here earlier and sent me a link to her post. I know she wants me to watch the video to prove it was all set up and planned, but I feel she still doesn't get that I am upset about her disregard and disrespect for me and our relationship. Anyways, I am going to sign off for the night. My wife wants a divorce with newborn. Me, 34M, and my wife, 32F, have known each other for 11 years and have been married for 5 years now. We recently had a baby who is 5 months old now. Last week my wife told me that she wants a divorce and she made up her mind and does not consider counseling. I told her that I don't want to separate from her or our baby, but obviously any word during our conversation didn't change her opinion. We went back home afterwards. She has ups and downs in her interactions with me, but she does not seem to be overall happy to be around me. I don't know what she thinks right now, either if she is stalling or there is any hope. This year we went through a lot of stuff, bought a new home that needed a lot of work. She wanted to have a baby after we bought the home, which I agreed. She has helped around me for making the home more livable while being 5 to 7 months pregnant at the time. But what she did was mostly being around me. I didn't let her even carry anything unless I certainly needed help for 5 minutes. She keeps bringing to me that she did a lot of work while being pregnant and my all attention should have been on her. Around when the delivery was scheduled, both of our parents came to stay with us to help. It was the first grandchild for both sides. My relationship with her parents have never been really good. Despite we see them 1 to 2 times a year, there has been no time that I didn't have a fight with her father, especially after their last visit during my wife's delivery. He stopped talking to me. I also wanted my parents to enjoy seeing their first grandchild. They came with my high-needs autistic brother. During that time, I tried to make my brother comfortable, because if he would get upset, then I thought it would make everyone at home uncomfortable. My wife thinks that I prioritized my brother and neglected her during her first weeks after delivery. She now thinks because of never-ending fights with her family and me prioritizing my brother, according to her, that people don't change and her life will always be miserable for her. Even years before we got married, she knew about my brother, and I made it clear to her that if my parents die, I want him near me always, not in a nursing home. We haven't been intimate for 6 months now and talk mostly surface stuff for the last month, which includes at least 2 weeks of silent treatment she gave me. Nobody cares about what I need and appreciates all the effort I try to put creating better environment for my daughter before she is born. Still, I love my daughter very much and can't think of separating from her. Note 1. Guys, thanks a lot for a bunch of responses. I wasn't expecting as much. I have been following this subreddit for a while, but made a new account to post this since I wanted to remain anonymous. Note 2. Regarding her father, it is mainly lack of respect for my boundaries. Both of our parents live abroad from the same country. Her father knows very good English and has better income. They visited us last Christmas, 3 weeks prior to our move-in date. Instead of flying to our city, he asked that I pick them up from an international airport 4 hours away, 9 hours round trip. He knows English very well and actually works in aviation industry. In my perspective, the only reason he asks this to save money. Yet, they bought a brand new electric car with $50,000 just before visiting us that time. During their stay, he wanted me to drive around and take them to dinners. I told him that if he wants to visit places, he can rent a car and go. That was one of the fights. It was my only vacation before move-in, and I wanted to relax and prepare. They did not even offer to help with the move-in until I told how much displeased I am. Her mom has no job. She could have stayed with us to help her pregnant daughter, but he rejected that our move-in date is not clear. I think the main reason is that he wanted to buy a house before us, but the bank didn't give him credit and then he got jealous. I think his dream is to live in the U.S. He had opportunities, but never realized due to life and other reasons, so he is petty. Anyway, I can write longer and longer, but this is the main gist of it. I can tolerate him, but we will probably be never on best terms. Group of dudes laughed about me buying a bunch of sweets. Dropped a nuclear bomb on them. That actually just happened today. I don't know which flair to use, and I apologize for my English, as it's not my first languages. I was in a supermarket buying a bunch of sweets. I mean it. It looked like I shoveled the whole aisle of vegan chocolate in my basket and dumped it on the conveyor belt. Vegan chocolate here is mostly small candy bars and way too expensive 100g chocolate bars. It was like 20 to 25 euros of candy. Looked a lot because of the sheer amount of candy bars. Was way too much, but not like a full conveyor belt full of candy. Well, in front of me were a group of older teenage boys, like 18 to 19 years old, talking, laughing, till they saw my sweets. Now they laughed again, but at me, at my sweets galore, at my big belly, BMI of 30 says HI. Normally, I would give them a sharp glance and say nothing. Not today. I had a kinda good day today. My shyness couldn't hold me back. I took my headphones off, I turned the music off at the checkout and only had them on because they are soothing for me, and said, "Kami, have fun laughing. But when you find out that you have cancer that will probably kill you, you are the first ones buying a mountain of sweets." Silence. All color left their faces. They quietly paid and left. I don't have cancer, just crippling depression. But I thought, what if they laugh at someone who has cancer? How will they feel? I don't want anyone to feel bad. But people who laugh at others, they have to learn what impact they may have. Maybe they will, maybe they don't. But today, I ruined their fun they had on the cost of others. Oh, I told the cashier that I don't have cancer. Just wanted to teach them a lesson. Apparently these guys are there often, probably after going to the gym, which is right upstairs. They had gym bags with them, and they like to make fun of others. Small edit, I know I have awful eating habits. Eating is a coping mechanism for me, and for others too, and I know it's not a healthy one. I know that a BMI of 30 is too much, and I know that it shows. I am slowly working on it, but everyone has fallbacks, like today. Regardless, no one deserves to be laughed at when they are at a low point in their life and or sick. Today they just laughed at me. Tomorrow they might laugh at someone who lost someone dear to them or who got a death sentence. I don't want that to happen to anyone, ever, and if it means bonking them with the guilt hammer, so be it. I don't wish that anyone gets a cancer diagnosis. I wish I could take the cancer and sickness of others onto me, so people can enjoy their lives, but I can't take that sickness from others. So maybe with what I did, one other person doesn't get laughed at, which is a win for me. Still, I know it was a nuclear option and rather insensitive, and I own up to that and apologize for it. As someone reported me to Reddit resources, I am fine. I will try to think optimistic and assume that it was out of concern and not to harass me. Yes, I have depression, chronic, had it my whole life, which is why I may sound cynical or pessimistic sometimes, but I am in psychiatric care and take my medication every day, just forget my vitamins sometimes. But who doesn't?